the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on Thursday, dismissed the endorsement of Peter Obi by Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo. Tinubu, while speaking at a rally in Benin, the Edo state capital, said that Obasanjo is trying to deceive Nigerians by endorsing Peter Obi, insisting that the former president is not qualified to recommend a president for Nigerians, and described his endorsement as a blind man leading the blind.
Can that man recommend a leader for you in Nigeria?
No!
Is that not sending an agent to pick your pocket? A blind leading the blind. I'm sorry. I'm not insulting you medically impaired people. Or it don't go work. They will end up in the ditch. If I talk about Obasanjo and Obi, you think they are human beings together put. One who don't know the way cannot show the way.
Well, Tinubu also criticized Nigeria's former vice president and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, stating that Atiku cannot boast of any good job that he has done for the country, and described him as a customs officer who cannot define the ethics of civil service provision. Tinubu went on to state that if elected into office, he would provide jobs and turn internet fraudsters known as Yahoo boys into experts at manufacturing and creation of chips. Then, in his usual fashion, delivered yet another inscrutable lingo. Let's take a look.
We create hubs. We will turn this state to energy state.
Amen!
Turn the so-called Yahoo boys to experts in manufacturing and creation of chips that we intercept and all.
I cannot even get the people that are applauding, but let me take some reactions. I'm sorry. Chinaza wrote, Tinubu campaigned in Lagos and in some other northern parts. He didn't insult their young men, but he reached Edo State. He called the young men Yahoo boys, and that he would turn them into manufacturer of chips. This is to tell you that this man has no regard for the South, and Southeast. Well, Olayemi wrote, I will turn the so-called Yahoo boys to experts in manufacturing and creation of chips and ... You heard that, right? This clearly shows that Baba Tinubu is lying with no clue. Let me tell you, 98% of the so-called Yahoo boys can't even write a hello.
Yes.
Rufai.
No, but that tweet is true. Most of these Yahoo boys are boys that, you know, when you look at them, yeah, some of them have education, but the moral part of them is bankrupt already. A lot of them can't write this, can't write that. Only very few of them can write all of that. So what was even the expression about the Yahoo boy? If we talk now, they'll say we are talking. What's the expression about the Yahoo boy something in the first place? People that are doing fraud. How about saying you are going to improve on the ICT hubs, like CC Hub and the likes we have, like Mr. Feni was saying? The next thing you are saying, Yahoo boy. What concerns us are Yahoo boys now again that you are putting? So what are you even insinuating? Why did even the topic of Yahoo boy come? You have a lot of Nigerians doing well. You didn't even mention the likes of Flutterwave, innovating, building tech unicorns. We will improve upon that. You are improving upon Yahoo boy. And it's getting too much with all this on it. What did he say? I don't
know.
Is it speaking in tongues or what? Or is it just he went into a spiritual something or
well, do you know some people are saying that it might even be a technique he's using to remain relevant? You never know. People are saying, he's been trending.
That's not a good technique. But let's go back to this context of the matter. He said a lot of things there. Like I said this morning, for the sake of balancing, politicians will call anybody the devil when it's not going in their interests. He's abused the vice presidential candidate, the presidential candidate of the PDP, called him a custom officer. Did he call him the same custom officer when they were together in the APC? Because we forget that all of these politicians were together at some points. Or let me even dial back. Did he call him a custom officer, or could he call him when they were together at the SDP in the 90s? So when you hear politicians talk, I think Nigerians should be wise now to think of what politicians can do for them. And on this campaign, I didn't hear of the ideas that will invigorate a nation. Anyway, Dr. Bati, you were saying that it's not issue-based campaign, it's ethnicity, it's all of that, which is a sad commentary on how we become as a nation.
Yes.
Because that means we're not moving forward, and that's why the problems will persist. We vote for people based on sentiment, we don't vote on the issues, then we don't have a right to complain when the country goes down the drain.
I think Kwankwaso made a very valid point.
So we should go back to the issues. So when you see them abusing themselves, Nigerians, ask yourself, what can they do for you? If they can't do anything, leave them alone. But most importantly, get your PVC. That's the most important thing, because that will soon close. And a lot of people might be disenfranchised.
All right, Dr. Bati.
Okay, number one, I think that politicians, presidential candidates and their spokespersons must realize that all of this race is going to end by March. By March, we will know who has won, who has lost. Okay, so how do they face the people they have abused after the elections? How do they face, live up to the enmity that they have created? Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is calling Baba OBASANJOR a blind man. Okay, so after the election has been won and lost, will he be able to stand in front of Obasanjo and say, you are a blind man? The same blind man that he went to visit in Abeokuta. Okay, some people say he wasn't looking for his endorsement, but he paid him his due respect as an elder statesman. Right, so the blind man was good enough for him to go and visit. So now he says President Obasanjo is a disabled man, a man living with physical disability. So I just think that, look, there should be civility in the language. And we have made a point here that the presidential candidates are the ones setting the bad example for their associates and their spokespersons. Second thing is that people must also realize that the law frowns at hate speech, vitriol. Part of the problem we face in this electoral process is that nobody is enforcing the law. If you look at the Electoral Act from section 91 to 92 to 93, penalties are even prescribed. Even for broadcasters also, there are penalties for hate speech, for heating up the polity, but nobody is doing anything about it. So these guys go onto the campaign platforms, all they do is abuse people. No, that's unacceptable. People who want to lead Nigeria should show good example. Now, apart from calling Obasanjo a blind man and P2B, I hear that is the way it's called, a blind man. He also said that ATIKU is a customs officer who does not know anything, who has no knowledge of ethics, and who cannot even define the ethics of civil service provision. We don't need all of that. What we need are the ideas about how you want to lead Nigeria. But he spoke about tourism, turning Edo State into a tourism destination, the antiquities and all that. Okay, maybe that's one major issue. And as for the language that you said he spoke, okay, Frank Shaibu has written, a response to that. Frank Shaibu is one of the spokespersons of ATIKU, and he quoted what he said in Weri, what he said elsewhere, and all that. Well, if I was Asiwaju Tinubu's strategist, I probably would come and say, well, what Nigerians do not know is that the man speaks other languages that may not be known to Nigerians. Maybe it's a polyglottal, affectation. So when he says blah 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 blah, blah or he say guru 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 guru, or you know, maybe he's a polyglot. But then his strategies need to identify that language for us. But going forward, he should speak the kind of language that the electorate we understand, not bala bala blue 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 guru 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 guru. No, you know, I think that's the point there. But
well, all right.